four local authorities: Dublin City Council, South Dublin County Council, Dunleary Rathdown and Fingal County Council. As across all of those local authorities, we were all exploring and working in early childhood arts practice in different ways. South Dublin was at a point where it was really beginning to think about how it wanted to build that practice, and Dunleary Fingal had a very established practice of supporting and commissioning and festivals for early childhood arts. And then Dublin City had a programme through Children's Art and Libraries which was rolling out early childhood commissions for artists as well in their library settings.
We recognise the need to support families that wish to engage in their child's early learning and early development.
I'm often asked, what's the point of making theatre for babies? They're not going to remember. But in fact, science tells us that what happens during the first 3 years of your life actually changes how your brain is formed. And so therefore it makes complete sense to me that some of those experiences should be musical, creative, lyrical, beautiful.
Why would a local authority be thinking about early childhood arts practice? And I suppose as arts offices set within local authorities, we're kind of developmentally working to support and promote the arts within local communities. And also at national level, we're very conscious that the National Arts and Education Charter had positioned early childhood arts practice as a key area for development in Ireland.
I Am Baba offered something unique. It offered an opportunity to develop a new piece of theatre for an early years audience that depended on the actual consultation with parents and babies on a real local level. So that was really interesting. And it also, because of the mobile nature of I Am Baba, allowed us to reach into the very heart of several communities. So that was really of big interest to us. It also offered opportunity for us to reach out to several family support agencies, and that dialogue has been of great benefit and will continue to flourish after I Am Baba.
The portable performance space that we use for I Am Baba serves two purposes. The first one is that it creates the distraction-free environment that is the optimum conditions for audiences so young to really engage in dialogue, really, in the show with the performers, to really connect with the performers. But what it also does is it means that wherever the show goes, the experience is always exactly the same. So parents seeing it in a community centre, anywhere in Dublin, will get exactly the same experience as parents seeing it in an arts venue.
I definitely didn't expect the music to be so complex, which was a challenge. At the start, I thought, oh, we're learning this really difficult music and the babies aren't going to receive it. But when you do it, it's transformative. The babies really lock in, and it's fascinating to them because there's so much going on.
It's really interesting, I think, especially with the tiny babies, because with, say, a baby of nearly a year, you expect them to kind of look at you a little bit, or, you know, engage with you a little bit in terms of like watching you do stuff or things like that. But it's really interesting when you can hold the attention of a really tiny one. I think you see the effect kind of more obviously there, in that a tiny little baby can sit for 20 solid minutes and just stare at you and follow things, and you can see them tracking stuff with their eyes and actually absorbing what we're doing, which when you're rehearsing at first you're like, just waving a piece of shit on, you know, it's just a scarf. But they really do engage with it, and they do actually care if you're putting effort into it. They know when you're not.
We are always thinking about new ways of connecting artists and arts practice, really high quality arts practice, with communities who may or may not ever have had an experience of any art form practice. And I suppose really that's an important link for us to be brokering.
One of the things that we found is that this experience is really connecting for parents, for caregivers with their babies, in terms of being a beautiful shared moment that can sometimes be quite profound, I guess. When I first started making baby shows, because they're only 20 minutes long, I put the start times of the show 40 minutes apart, and then we discovered that people just wouldn't leave. So although the shows only last 20 minutes, there's space and time for people to stay and play as long as they want. And we've discovered that time is just as important as the show. The show creates the environment for that time to happen, and babies will connect with each other, parents will connect with each other, and often for caregivers who might be more isolated or have a very young baby, that time can be a really positive experience.
Yeah, like when I'm bringing a lot of parents up, they say like, oh, they're very tired, or they are very hungry and stuff like that, and they're expecting kind of their baby to act up. And I think they're very surprised when they come in and see that the effect that the show has on them, even just the space alone, and then when the singing starts, just how engaged they are. I think the parents are a little bit surprised by just how much of an effect that it can have on the babies, and I think the parents end up really liking it themselves as well.
Following participation in some of our early years arts programmes, parents have often expressed a sense of well-being and joy, having spent that time and having had that space to engage in a new and creative activity with their child. So I think when both embark on a new activity together, there's a shared sense of wonder, of expectation, and also there's a kind of a positive personal exchange that occurs that otherwise might not have happened that day. So I think the parent-child bond is really strong, and there's great opportunity for that to happen within the early years arts.